happening? We trapping. I got Boss Cowboy Sports in here, man. Welcome to Boss Land. You understand? Let's get
easy money, man. Easy.
Let's get it. We in here this morning. Let's get it. I hope everybody's having a good day, man. You know what I'm saying? It's Boss Land time, man. You know how we do on a Wednesday, sir. Let's get it. Alabama and Texas in here, man. Let's go.
Man. Indeed.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Miss Regina Green and Thomas A. Garrett, man. Shout out to everybody watching over there in Boss Cowboy World. You understand? We in here, man. Let's get it.
Yes, indeed.
We got some things to discuss, man. Some interesting tidbits coming out as far as Cowboy Nation go, man. So we finna go ahead and crank it up. We're a little tardy. Well, probably my fault, you know what I'm saying? But we gonna go crank this thing on up, man. I appreciate all the love and support. Let's get it. God. Man, looks like we got an error. Just give me a second. Bam.
It's all good.
We got Boss Cowboy Sports in here, man. What's happening?
Man, what's happening, man? So, obviously, it's been a lot of news going on. I think what you pulling up, the Adam Schefter.
Yeah, the Adam Schefter interview, that's what we'll be talking about today.
Yeah, so today, man, we getting ready to cover that Adam Schefter interview because obviously, you know, we mostly dealt with Stephen Jones yesterday. I'm pretty sure everybody caught up on that. But Adam Schefter, his podcast is underground, you know, a little bit. Well, you know, I ain't going to say underground, but it would be after something that most people wouldn't follow as closely as Stephen Jones. So me and Landlord was talking, and basically, you know, it's a situation where some nuggets that came out, and we going to just discuss it. On some of it, it's going to be me freestyling because it's going to be true raw reactions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know I got you, man. So we can go to.
I was stalling for you, bro.
I'm already here, man. But I came into a little error. But you know, everything happens live. But we finna go and crank it up. Let's get into it then. Let's go.
How's the off season going?
It's going well, really, really well. Got a good little throwing session in today, and got to throw with B Cook, so it's going well.
How was that?
It's exciting. I'll say that it was very exciting to throw with him today, and the guy is different. That is real speed.
Real speed. Did he say real speed, Boss Cowboy Sports?
He said real speed, big dog.
Hey, so that sound like he didn't have it done before, right? That's what that sound like. You know,
man, I think that's what I heard too.
We ain't trying to be messy now. We ain't trying to be too messy, but you know what I'm saying.
We got to. No, you said that.
Yeah, that was very different for me, man, because I don't think I recall him saying that like that before. You know what I'm saying? Like he never had that type of energy before, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, I ain't never heard him talk about real speed. Like, right? Like, what athlete? I just can't remember no athlete that he described really having real speed.
Yeah.
So, for him to just kind of emphasize that, and the reputation of Brandon Cooks is a guy that spends a whole lot of money making sure his body right. So, you know, that kind of just confirms it. And you can hear the excitement on Dak. You know what I'm saying? You can definitely hear the excitement on Dak. And I think we all need to get ready for some excitement. Like, that's going to happen from the number 2.
So it looked like one of my screens got lost, but I'm going to build a plane while we in the air. Y'all got to forgive me, man.
And I got you, man. If you need me to keep talking, I got plenty I can already kind of talk about that. You need me to keep going?
Yeah, just touch on it. They might have to see it quickly, but you can just talk over real quick. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, and it's all good. Listen, y'all, this is the definition of flying planes when it's in the air. So I was explaining to people yesterday that I'm going to be upgrading my phone systems after the draft. For some reason, people that don't do what we do think it's just kind of like easy. They think it's like turning on a light. They don't understand that it's boards that's involved. They don't understand that it's multiple wires. They don't understand that you probably got to go through a whole lot of self-training, a whole lot of autodidactic type of behavior. Autodidactic means you're a self-learned person. So you can see, like, even right now, you see, we had to improvise because we wasn't even prepared for this. But you got to be able to go with this. So that's why some people need to learn to be patient with the upgrades, like what you're continually doing. See, I watch you, and I know it's a process to continue to do these type of upgrades and enhancing your production.
Man,
So
hey, there you go. We just did it that quickly, man. So
did
shout
it
out
that
to
quick, yeah,
boss. Shout out to
That's
Boss
what it
Cowboy,
is.
man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all gotta forgive me, man. Some stuff got lost in the computer, and my whole screen was gone. But we build this
Yeah.
thing in the fly, on the
You
fly,
gotta
in
fly
the
with
air.
it.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Law
Yeah, and
Nation.
shout out to Law. Law is the dude who really made it popular to just embrace imperfection.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's one thing Law you learn from Law is that's why he call it
building
a
that plane in
while
the
it's
air.
there.
That's a hell of an
Yeah,
analogy
just
right there,
embrace
man.
it. Yeah, just embrace it, man. It's gonna happen. You just
Yeah.
gotta be able to keep moving, keep talking, keep thinking on your feet, and most importantly, knowing what you're talking about once we get the production plan.
Yes, sir. So we can move along in the interview, man. You got to roll with the punches
How's the
sometimes.
off season going?
So
It's
he
going
talked
easy,
about
put it
Brandon
like that,
Cooks, and now
yeah.
he's speaking on
Yeah,
Kellen Moore.
it wasn't easy. Put it like that. As you said, starting
And
off the first
Zeke.
news, Kellen, not only Kellen Moore, but offensive coordinator Doug Nussmeier, just two men that have grown with me and Kellen since I've been drafted, create a relationship as teammates, and then for that as a player coach, and at the end of the day, a brother. So just seeing him leave was tough.
Wait a minute. I had a problem with
Wait.
that. I had a problem with that about player coach. Yeah, man. Look.
I heard the scratch.
He said a player, brother, coach, player. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that dynamic at all, boss.
Bye.
I don't like it at all. Yeah, I'm so glad they got rid of that, man, because that's not a healthy relationship right there. That's not a healthy relationship. So how is he gonna be your superior, boss? How you gonna be his superior if you looking at him like your brother?
Yeah, it's hard to have that what's called cohesive power, where that's the ability to strike fear through punishment if you don't have somebody that you fear. Like fear is a natural part of leadership that most of us should embrace. Like we should, like I'm a person that reads the scriptures, and one of the things in the scriptures say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Absolutely.
So most people take that wrong, but what they're saying is basically like you got to respect people that got power. You know what I mean? And so when you like to your point, when you're looking at somebody like a peer, it's you have to be a special person, man, to be able to just still respect and be afraid to make mistakes because of the person that's over you.
Yeah. It's crazy to me for them to even say something like that. You know what I'm saying? To say
that's crazy.
That's your player peer, but we understand that that's a toxic relationship because it's supposed to be a hierarchy in the organization. You know what I'm saying? You done been at them jobs where it's just the way you do business. Like the highest boss will walk right past you and he'll see you doing something he ain't happy with, but he gonna go tell your immediate boss. Right?
Yeah.
He ain't gonna say nothing to you. You be wondering like, why this dude ain't just tell me? He gonna go tell on me. It's just a way of doing things. It's a hierarchy when it comes to an organization, and if you don't have that type of structure, man, it's not gonna work out right. But we can go on to see what else he said about him, man. So
how's the off season?
Wait a minute.
Within
43. Okay.
And then Zeke, that one. Still doesn't feel right. Going in the facility, starting off season program. Been my locker buddy for years, and just a guy that I'll go to war with and do anything for in this world. And it's tough not going to work with him now, but he's somebody I support. He won't be a free agent for long, and I don't understand why he still is. But it's been tough. But with change is good as well. So I've got to embrace what we've got moving forward, and I'm excited for it.
Hey. What you think about them getting your boy Dak Prescott out of his comfort zone, boss? Hey. They getting him out of his comfort zone with getting rid of two of the people he liked the most. That's what I feel like.
Oh.
Yeah. With Kellen being out of the building, with Zeke being out of the building, I feel like this gonna allow him to focus more than ever, boss. What you think about that? I think this is a focus. Cause look, you done got rid of Kellen and Zeke. Them two of his closest buddies right there. He ain't gonna like that. So now it's like they getting him out of his comfort zone. So we finna really see how Dak feel. I think he finna come back with a vengeance. That's what I think.
No, I have no doubt about that. I think
finna
Dak will be in the top 3 conversations in MVP. I think at some point we go get on some type of run. I think our schedule is going to probably be tough as hell next year, but we go show that we really ready for the big games next year. Yeah. So I definitely think he could be in the top 3 category. But in terms of Zeke, I think that was more business. You know? It was just business. It was one of those things to where it's unfortunate. I think his injuries were freakish, but I do look at it from the lens of the front office. In the front office, they have to say, even though it was freakish and even though, you was productive and yet you also played tough, we still got to make sure that we're being smart about our finances because we don't know, if this freakish or if this could continue. So you have to cut his pay. You got to get him out the door. And then they had to do it early, which they did. They did it the first day of free agency, the morning that free agency started, which allowed him to go into the market. They didn't have to insult him with a low ball offer. They allowed the market to insult him so that when they do come back and offer him something, he go take it actually gracefully versus grudgingly.
Yeah, you right about that, man. So I wasn't really saying like they did it to insult him, but the end result is your buddy ain't there. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, however you perceive it, it is what it is. But they took 2 of your best guys out the building. So I think this is going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye on how he responds to this. I think this is an eye-opener too, though, boss. Think about it, man. This was your boy. He was with you day one, and he's no longer here. So now I think that's eye-opening for you as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he said it himself that like Zeke is a cruel reminder of how short the NFL careers are.
Yeah.
It's a cruel reminder. So just the other day, you can look back in the days of walking in the building with this young stud with 21 on his chest, the young phenom star, and then you watched him go from everybody love him, from feed me to get him out of here and I can't stand him, and he washed up.
Yeah.
So that's a tough reality that he's dealing with, which does, and I think we'll put a fire on the Dak that, hey, the time is now. Because if you don't handle it now, you will be like Zeke on some woulda, coulda, shoulda. You will be on some Romo woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff. You either got to handle it now or you going to be an afterthought.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. I just thought that was interesting. So let's see what else.
I'll tell you, that should be nice. That should be nice.
This is him on the possible return of Zeke.
And I know myself, and I can tell you there's a lot.
You say what?
I just want to say, man, shout out to Landlord, man, upgrading his production like this, bro. I love it. I just want to give you a shout out.
I appreciate that.
You gotta peep game when Balls is doing extra stuff to give you extra entertainment. Like, he didn't have to create B-rolls for each one of these.
Yeah.
He didn't have to add a whole graphic for each one of these breakdowns. But this is the extra mile that sometimes people go through just because they want to entertain you just a little bit better. So shout out to you, bro.
Man, I appreciate that, man. See, it take a producer to know one, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It take a producer to know one. So yeah, I appreciate that, man. So let's roll it out.
On not only the team, but in the organization that would love that. I'm sure Zeke would as well. So we understand that this is a business, and as you said, the markets change and things go up and down. So it doesn't always work out the way we see it. But hopefully that could happen. Yeah, honestly, Mike.
He's saying about the return. Hey, he said possible. You know what I'm saying? You know Dak wants Zeke back. We don't even got to really talk about how he feel about it. So we do need to see, like, you know what I'm saying? It is a possibility. What you think the likelihood is of him actually being back on the team?
Bad.
You don't see it? Boss said no, I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, this is why. Because when we draft, regardless of if these guys we draft are great, good, phenoms, or average, right? when you draft somebody, usually if they have a pretty decent name, it's gonna come with optimism.
Yeah, yeah.
And I call the off season the time of illogical optimism. I always say that. It's the time
Delusion.
delusional. People really was like, Tristan Hill is finna come in and be a run stopper day one. And I was like,
you don't see it.
yeah, because it don't happen. Like, the only time it's happened was with Osa. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Osa was rare. And even he burnt out year one. Like, he hit his rookie wall. So, but that's the expectations when you get a new toy, you know?
Yeah.
So the draft's so deep with so much quality running backs that this new toy could be a situation where they say, we go with our guys. You know what I mean? The only time we would really go get Zeke if we don't fill the running back hole with quality through the draft. And I'm going to just be honest. I don't think Will McClay is not going to be able to fill that hole. He found Tony Pollard in, round 4?
And yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And you mean to tell me in a deep running back draft, he ain't going to be able to find a substitute? I just don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it either. Like, it'll be a nice story. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And even if this dude end up being average, my fault, I mean to cut you off.
You good.
Even we ain't going to know until he hit the grass.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, what I would hope, this is what I would sincerely hope. I would hope that he does come back. If he's really, really ready, though, because I don't have no sympathy for him. I don't have no love. Like, I just want him back for how loyal he's been to the Dallas Cowboys. Like, I don't got no house like that.
Yeah.
What I want back was that battering ram and the physicality. That's what I want back. That's all I want back.
Yeah.
And I'm certain that if he didn't get hit on that knee, Zeke got that type of talent to where he was going to get you 11 to 1,200 yards if he didn't get hit on that knee. Like, everybody that knocked Zeke and talk about his production fell off, they never referenced the games before those knee injuries. They never referenced those games. Because I remember, man, it wasn't a peep about his production.
Oh, yeah, boss. That brings up a point. I ain't mean to cut you out, but I forget. I'm bad with that. But you said on your show, you was like, you was talking about how the players get a youth up. And I had wanted to touch on that when you was like, yeah, so Zeke basically gave up his youth the way for the Cowboys. When you was like, they give them real long contracts. Yeah, I had thought of it. And you know what the sell pitch is. I think it's that loyalty. It's the loyalty. Think about it, because that pisses us off as well. I had wanted to say that, but I think that's a good element that y'all ain't discussed. Like, the Cowboys are loyal to a fault. To a lot of these players. Like, we been wanting Witten out the door. We been wanting some of these other people out the door once they start just deteriorating, right? So I guess it's like that exchange, like, okay, you give me your youth years and I'm going to take care of you down the line. And you can't really hate on the Cowboys like that, because we be sick of some of these people. We be like, hey, man. We be like, hey, get them out the building. So I think that was just a good little add-on to that conversation you had.
Yeah, let me kind of get a background in case we got some new listeners that don't know what you're talking about and what I was talking about, what you referencing. I was basically showing on a graphic that basically all our top players, and I'm talking about every one of them, had to bend over and spread cheeks some kind of way.
Yeah. They getting screwed some kind of way.
Yeah, it's like, and that's why I call it a family philosophy, like, because they made Zach Martin sign a 6-year contract when his counterparts do a 4-year contracts. So people don't understand that that's a big deal, because when you're on a 6-year versus a 4, the cap is going up every year. So let's say if you elect to try to get in 6 years, you really could have made more money if you would have got in right here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you basically signed your contract right here. You gave them all of this. So you ain't going to have no chance to get all this money right here on that rising cap unless you get back in the cap early.
Yeah.
I'm using my arm as a graph. I know that look crazy. It's my best way to explain it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you sign a contract saying I can start trying to get my money here, you gave up your youth. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the biggest commodity on a football player, where the average career lifespan for any one of these guys is about 3 years, you want to try to get back into the market. So they did Zach Martin like that. They did Frederick like that. They did.
No, they did Tyron like that.
They did Tyron the worst.
They did Tyron so bad. Ooh, that's commitment
Romo
right there.
had a 6, so I heard a lot of people say, "See, Romo, he didn't have to wait on his paper. Romo signed a 6." I guarantee if Dak went to them and said, "I signed a 6," they'd be like, "Sign up." They'll sign him up.
Hey, Steve would be like, "Trap that thing out immediately." Yeah. So and then you see Dak went against the grain too, boss. Dak went against the grain. Dak said, "Give me 4." So a lot of people call Dak a company man, but bro, Dak, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
But see, Steven was like, "We need 2 valuable years though." So it's still, you know what I'm saying? They still wanted that flex, but what they really wanted to do was burn.
Yeah, they want they want to win.
Dak just refused to be burned. It's like he was the first out of all them greats to be like, "Nah, bro, I know my worth." And on top of that, it got to a point where it was insulting. It was insulting because they kept asking him to take deals under his counterparts that he clearly outperformed.
Yeah.
So he had better career production than Goff. He had better career production than Wentz. And the Cowboys kept asking him to take a lower total guarantee. And like, why would I, if I'm Dak Prescott, which at the time didn't miss any games, take less guaranteed money than Wentz, who was already injury prone?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you go pay me guaranteed, those usually go to the guys that you feel like will be able to give you the guaranteed gains. And then on top of that,
shout out to HTM Sports in the building, man.
What's up, HTM, my dog?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, even when Dak get hurt, he come back even stronger. People try to say that when he hurt his ankle, he fell off, and they'd be like, "How is 37 touchdowns equal to Aaron Rodgers in one less game when Aaron Rodgers was the MVP of fall off? How do you have surgery literally on a thumb that you throw, but yet you come in immediately and lead your team to having the number 1 offense?"
Man.
So it's like, it's one of them things to where Dak is already proven, but he go stand on his spot. And most importantly, it's not even Dak. It's his agent. Like Todd Francis.
Yeah.
Like Todd Francis, and I'm going to be quick on this. Todd Francis, bro, he would be such a sucker if he allowed them Joneses to force him to give Dak a team-friendly deal when they making hand over fist money on the brand of Dak.
They like, trapping Dak out, man.
Bro, do you know they made about a $250 million on just Dak as a rookie?
And y'all want this man to take a discount.
He's supposed to.
Y'all want the man to take a discount though. That don't even make sense. And look, like they said, I can't wait to see, he gonna touch on Jalen Hurts in the interview too, but like I can't wait to see the narrative switch on Hurts. Cause it's gonna happen. Cause if it's gonna happen. Cause everybody loves you when you're not making no money. You couldn't find a Dak hater when he was making money. When he wasn't making no money. You couldn't find one. You can search anywhere you wanted to look. You would never find a Dak hater when he was making that little 300,000 whatever he was making. You couldn't find one. You couldn't find one.
Landlord. I think we might need to check the history on that, dog.
You think they was still hating him?
They've been hating on Dak since day one.
I say not as much.
Let me say it like.
They love Dak though, man. I don't know, bro. They love Dak when he was making pennies, bro. They was loving Dak.
All right, listen, bro, because I just did a show with JC and Smitty from Philly, right?
Yeah.
And I was showing them bottom film that almost half of Jalen Hurts' rushing touchdowns was rugby. Like rugby.
Man, they call that the tush push, man.
No, I did not know
they call that the tush push, man. These boys is weird. Go ahead.
So these dudes playing rugby. But do you hear anybody saying anything about that? And I'm factual on that. Like, literally about 5 of those rushing touchdowns was QB sneak, bro.
Yeah.
But if that was Dak, you know who would be getting the credit? The offensive line.
The O-line. Yeah. Yeah.
Because they did that. It's Cowboy fans when I say that Dak carried the 2016 team. They'll still say it was Zeke.
They give it to Zeke more. They give it to
And
Zeke
which
more.
is crazy because, like, I told some people yesterday who came on the stream where I was boxing Philly cats. It was like, you wrong on that one, boss. Zeke was carrying. I was like, no, he didn't, bro. It's like, in what world is 8 touchdowns more than 23? Dak had 23 touchdowns. Dak had almost 3,600 yards versus Zeke had almost 1,600 plus yards. How is somebody doing way more for a team with way more points, but then that be the person being carried by the dude that had less yards than the quarterback and less touchdowns than the quarterback?
Look,
I like, no, that's the crack. That's that wee woo crack.
I think the disconnect is maybe I probably should have said, see, I'm saying I'm not talking about mainstream media. I'm talking about amongst Cowboy fans. It was more haters amongst Cowboy. It's more haters amongst Cowboy fans now. The Cowboy fans loved Dak before he got his money. I'm talking about mainstream media was throwing shade. They was the ones saying dinking and dunking from what I remember, like Elm Sports said. Shout out to Elm. But I think
it depends on what social media you was rolling with. So around them times, I was in Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook was toxic as hell.
They still were hating out Dak. I ain't gonna lie, I seen more Dak praise though. I ain't gonna lie, I seen more people was on Dak.
On your circles. So like, I didn't know how crazy the circles was until I got deeper into social media.
Yeah, and I went on Twitter either, so I probably missed a lot. You know,
so you talking about the local Landlord, Alabama people that got the comments that you getting the haircuts with.
Yeah. And like the you know, I just felt like people liked the Dak back then though.
Well, you probably was in the right circles, but then I stopped back and I looked at the forest. See, you looking at the tree, you know what I mean? And that's real. The Alabama tree, I guarantee you telling the truth. In my local neighborhood, it was a lot of people rocking with Dak, but when I stepped back and looked at that forest, it was over here forest fires, and then over here it was green. You know what I mean? But it was some fires, bro. People hated that.
So and they still on that. So that what made me think about it. It's still mainstream media people. I don't even want to name these guys because it's just, I can't really. I was telling ATM the other day, bro, I can't talk about that stuff because I can't watch it because I'd be making response videos every day. I wouldn't be able to do it.
I don't watch it.
But some kind of way it finds its way on my timeline, like one of their quotes or something. And they still saying that CeeDee Lamb won the #1 receiver. Like, what does this man have to do? I don't understand that. Think about it. If any other receiver would have had the year that CeeDee Lamb had with no help, they would have been praising him. He's great. He's excellent. CeeDee Lamb did this single-handedly, bro.
Yeah.
Had a tremendous year. And then this is his first time around.
And he got stronger as the season went on. Especially after T.Y. arrived. Go look at when T.Y. arrived. T.Y. definitely got in his ear. Yeah. His game went up after T.Y.
On another level.
Yeah. So I'm just adding to your point. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, how much more do he supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody else, bro, like, they would have gave him much more credit. They would have been like, well, he didn't have anybody else. That's a big time notch on his side, right? We had no other productive receiver, period. That's the end of the story. You know what I'm saying? But they still find a way to deduct credit from CeeDee Lamb. This is craziness to me. Like, I promise, I can't listen to them folks, man. I'd be mad every day. I'd be making hit pieces on these boys
I
every day.
don't understand how our fans still listen. I don't.
It's really so toxic.
Like that's why I ain't got time to be competing and hating on Landlord or hating on my, hating on Law or hating on anybody in the game. I ain't got time to be, because at the end of the day, they not the enemy. The enemy are the people that actually play on propaganda for profit against my team.
Yeah,
that's the enemy. And I want to draw as many eyeballs away from that wee woo. That's what I want. Like, my aim is not to try to just beat my brothers. Yeah. That's in the podcast arena or the YouTube arena, because they like a little % of the market. I want to go get my poor Cowboy fans that make themselves miserable by waking up to hear Shannon Sharp and Skip fake all day about fandom and so-called debates that's scripted. That's basically like, we go create a war that's not a real war. We want a TV war. It's like, Like, why would you even make yourself mad like that? You could just stay in this space, literally start your morning with A to Z Sports, then around 11 o'clock, you go see Landlord, and then around 12 o'clock, you go see West Coast, then around 1 o'clock, you go see Law, then around 3 o'clock, you go see Votch.
Man, if you tuned in, bro, you ain't got no time for that foolishness, man. Tell them again, bro.
You can stay right here, and you will never...
Straight up.
You will never feel like you got used. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You will never feel like people just doing your brand bad. So I still ain't figured out how people wake up every morning and make themselves miserable by turning on those 4-letter networks.
Yeah, lying, bro. Shout out to the content creators in the building, man. Cowboys Can Fan Podcast. Shout out to y'all and JC Cowboy Network. Shout out to everybody rocking with us, man. You know, me and Boss trying to do this consistently, man. So y'all got to show some love so we can keep this going, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No doubt. But and it's gonna improve too. Like, we just get started.
Yeah, this is just the beginning, man. You know, Boss Land gonna become a thing, and it's gonna be gangster. I promise you. So let's see. I think he touched on
that should be nice. That should be nice. Markets change and things go up and down. So
here we go.
I'm sure Zeke would as well. So we understand that this is a business, and as you said, the markets change and things go up and down. So doesn't always work. On a visit way back in Mississippi State, maybe 70% Cowboy fans. So it's a home game on the road. So hey, I'm a fan of it. We can keep it that way.
He talked about how Washington be just getting dominated in the stands far as them Cowboys nation. You know why though, Mr. Boss Cowboy. You know why, don't you?
We are America's team, the most watched.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all don't like us, but y'all tuning in every Sunday.
You know we.
Yeah, congratulations. Proud of them. I hosted Jalen on a visit way back in Mississippi State years ago, and a fan of the guy the way he plays the game. Not a fan of his team and when they have success necessarily, but a fan of him and the way that he approaches it. And just somebody that was counted out early because of his play style and just has had success and trusted himself, trusted in the process, and I'm proud of him, and he deserves every bit of it.
Dak, you hosted him on a visit at Mississippi State. What was that like?
Yeah, I did. So his now quarterback coach, his now offensive coordinator, Brian Johnson, was my quarterback coach in college. And so the connection of those three hosted him.
I didn't know this man and hosted Jalen Hurts for a visit. I didn't know that.
It makes sense.
Yeah. I didn't know that though. That was an interesting nugget.
Because Jalen Hurts was a highly recruited athlete, especially when you go to Alabama. That means it was a lot of love for you around the country.
Yeah.
And I talked to a lot of the people that do the rankings from high school to college. And one of the top things that get you ranked as a 5-star athlete is based on who is recruiting you. It's not even based on how good you are. It's based on who recruiting you. And I want to say one thing real quick. We have the links of this whole interview and podcast in the description.
Yeah.
So y'all make sure that y'all go get them a click as well. We follow the fair use principles to where we are responding to content that's out there. We're going to always give access to people to get that click.
Facts. But, I appreciate that.
He might have been committed at the time of Bama, to Bama already. So I just was hanging out with him. I knew where he was going. Honestly, I try not.
He knew where he was going.
But, I was just hanging out with him.
yeah. He said he already was committed. But, it seemed like that got a lot of love for Jalen Hurts, man. I know he respect him as a peer. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how we don't like him over here in Cowboy Nation. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
I got respect for him. How do you not like Jalen Hurts as a person?
I cannot hate on the person. I just don't like the player. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the player. I can't hate on the.
I don't like the team, but the person like Jalen Hurts was the dude that I respected from the way that he handled that tool bench.
Man,
that was the most classiest. Like you're literally watching the guy take your job in the play, and you got them there.
Yeah.
You got them there, and then he balling, and the whole time the camera's on you, trying to wait for you to show a diva moment, and he never did. He clapping for him, he rooting him on, and it's heartbreaking at the same time because that was his team. And he was so classy about it, just as a man, I was like,
Yeah.
how do you not like him, bro?
I can't lie, man. You know, I'm not the biggest Hurts fan on the field. Like I'm just not.
Yeah.
I'm just being real. But like, far as you said it, that was a class act. The man is a class act. You cannot hate on that. And like, one of the things that's underrated about him, the way he handled that in Bama, a lot of people forget he stepped up and took over for Tua the next year in the SEC championship game and won. So a lot of people forget that. You know, I make my jokes and be like, hey, man, he got benched. You know, I have to have my ammo. You know how we do it, Mr. Boss. You know what I'm saying? You got to have your ammo for them haters.
And to your point, and all my ammo is never hating. Like, I still know that he's mostly a one read and run quarterback. It's just that Philly built around that.
They knew how to use it.
They built around that. It's more so a credit to the coaching on Philly. See, because I take my shots at Philly, but this is one thing I would give them credit for. Last year, they did better at coaching their talent. You know what I mean? Just keeping it real. Like, and adapting. See, because when they tried to come out and throw with Hurts, it wasn't working. That's why they went to the running game and started using his legs. But the smart thing about that is that buys him time to develop as a quarterback as well. So maybe he might become a pocket passing quarterback, because at this point, what I want to talk about is that new contract. That's going to make him have to become a pocket quarterback. Ain't no owner going to be cool with him being rushing like 170 times.
We can touch on that.
Rushing as much as Pollard.
Yeah, we can touch on that before we get up out of here, man. I hate I gotta cut this short, but yeah, we can go ahead and talk about Jalen Hurts though, like, cause you said it. You can't. I use this metaphor right here. I said, who gonna drive a Lamborghini like a box Chevy? Who gonna do that? You know what I'm saying? So like, if they paid for a Lamborghini, which I'm saying like Hurts is a valuable asset, you know what I'm saying? You're not just gonna dog it out. You're not just gonna treat it like crap. So they can't just allow him to just run like this. It's not sustainable, or he's gonna be hurt. Like, nobody has survived this. Like, have it been a survival? Like, is it anybody that survived like that, man? Anybody?
It breaks them down, and like, a lot of them are in full denial, because I debated a bunch of them this week.
Yeah.
They are in full-fledged denial. If you don't realize that using Hurts the way that they're using Hurts is a straight path to RG3, straight path to Cam Newton. It's beautiful early. It's an advantage early.
Yeah.
But no quarterback's supposed to be running like that. Not if you want him long term. And especially after you invested into them as much as you just did.
See, now, I would have thought they were smart and player. If they would have just said, okay, we ain't going to pay this guy and we just going to run him. They would have been dirty, but it would have been a smarter way to go about it. You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to commit to him, just use them up as much as you can. You know what I'm saying? And then move on. But with them paying them, they can't do that now. So they have to use him for the long haul. And though, like you said, the style that they want to use him in, you just can't accomplish that. It's not a sustainable style of play for a quarterback.
I think at most they got a 3-year window with the way that they use him, and it can get cut short like that. Just like at one moment, RG3 was like, "Oh my God, I don't want to see this dude for years," and then it was like, "Crack! Oh, he's gone."
Out of
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
out of there. He went from, "Oh my God, this dude is going to be eating up the East for years."
That it didn't survive 1 year. You know what I'm saying? I can't name a Russian quarterback who sustained. I can't name one. Know what I'm saying? That was maybe Vic. Maybe. I was just about to say he may be the only one. Lamar Jackson even had injuries. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But the style Vic ran, he didn't run like this though. Like they doing read options and stuff.
And Vic build plus his speed, you can't do that in a lab.
Yeah.
See, Lamar's fast like that, but he not built like Vic. You know what I mean? He don't have a frame. Like Vic had some thick legs, but had 4.2 speed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Vic is that everybody got this in their hood. We all got somebody that's in our hood, our neighborhood, that's 50 years old, and they can still go out there and play with them young boys. That's gonna be Vic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Vic is just
a natural athlete. Yeah.
Yeah, just a natural freak.
Yeah. But man, I appreciate you coming through though, boss man. We gonna make sure we on time next time. So it was probably my fault, you know what I'm saying? So I was trying to prepare the show.
So good.
So we gonna do better next time, man. But let the people know where to find you at, Mr. Boss Cowboy Sports.
Yeah, obviously it's Boss Cowboy Sports, man, where your voice matter. So y'all be on the lookout. The book is getting ready to drop any day now. I'm excited about that. We also had a draft show tomorrow on the Final Word around 8 o'clock Central. It's going to be our last draft show. Also, we doing one more because we've been getting a lot of demand from Cowboy fans that they want to run it back with Philly on their mock draft war, but they want us to go to round 7. So I just talked to Lord Brunson. I just got to talk to Law, and then we'll run that back where we going to have our last draft war. We're going to have our last draft war before we get into the real draft. And them boys good, man. Like, listen, I thought I was going to slam their heads. Nah, Lord and them came with a good strategy and a good draft plan. Yeah. So that's something I would say keep y'all eyes on because we're going to be doing that draft war. And I'm excited to have, like, a real good, like, conversation, learn about their team, but also look at the different types of strategies that could be implemented as we get into this draft.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you, though, man. We finna get ready to run it right back. You know, with me, West Coast, and HTM, we got a special guest. So I ain't gonna tell you who it is. Y'all might need to tune in, you know what I'm saying? But it's big time. So we appreciate all the love and support, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like and share for the squad. It will not charge a card. And let's ride this thing on out. I appreciate you, Mr. Boss Cowboy Sports. You understand? Let's get it.
I can't see a thing, all this money in my
sir.
I just blew a bag, ran it back to
I appreciate you, sir, man. We're going to have to come back with it for him now. You know how the South get down, man. What they said?
I know, man. I left my notes, baby.
The South got something to say. That's all I got to say.
You know what I'm saying? We still got something to say for these boys, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
All right. Yes, sir. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man, and go support. And like I say, 1K, 1 love, Cowboys Nation. Let's go.